Hi, in this video we're going to talk about what to do first. You have an idea of remodeling or building a new home and you don't know what to do first. And that's probably one of the biggest questions I get from family and friends or people who discover that I'm an architect is, what do I do first? And so I'm going to go through 5 easy steps that you can go through to get you prepped for before you even sit down with that architect on your project. Step 1, stop watching the fixer-upper shows or anything that you watch on HGTV or YouTube or whatever. Well, maybe that's a little harsh. I don't mean to stop watching completely. I just want you to look at the ideas, but when it comes to the pricing, I would take that with a grain of sand. At least in my area, I live in the California Central Coast. Costs run about $150 to $250 a square foot, depending on the size and complexity and the finishes of your remodel. I've watched some of those shows and I see where they do remodel of the kitchen, the master bedroom, the master bath, and they're adding on 300 square feet and it's $65,000. That's just not going to cut it here where I live. Kitchen remodels alone I'd put at $50,000. By the time you get cabinetry and appliances and countertops and finishes and all those things, easily $65,000 just for the kitchen. So I don't want, maybe don't have to stop watching the fixer-upper shows, but you definitely, when it comes to the pricing, you need to be talking to people in your area and see what it is, because the costs vary widely depending on a number of factors. Step 2 is programming. And this is just a fancy word for writing down what you want to do. You want to go through and assess what you like about your home and what you don't like about your home. Maybe it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and you want to make it into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 2.5 bath with a great room. Getting those ideas down and knowing what you want to do is just going to help your architect when you do meet with them, and will start to establish what exactly you want. And that may change over time. So writing it down the first time and letting it sit for a little bit, maybe you post it on your wall in your kitchen and you kind of think about it, because over time it changes, and you want that time to go through and think about it a little bit, because you're going to be spending thousands of dollars and you're going to be spending 6 to 12 to 18 months on the project. You want to make sure at the end you get exactly what you want. Now, the step 3 is you need to assess your financial house. How much can you afford? Not your budget, that's step 4. But step 3 is how much can you afford and how are you going to pay for it? Is it going to come out of savings? Is it going to be, are you getting a loan? There's a number of steps that you want to go through and get yourself prepared before you even venture into it. Like I said, you're going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars. You want to make sure that you know where the money is and you're not going to run out at the end. One caveat I'd put on this, I had a client, very organized. They knew what they wanted and they knew what they were going to do. And in fact, they went out and got a home equity loan for the project, thinking, oh, we're going to spend X amount of dollars. Well, as what typically happens during a construction process, number one, they got the bids in, which was a little higher than their home equity loan, and some of the finishes were upgraded. And so when they got to the end, yes, they were able to pay for it, but it wasn't all under the home equity loan, which is what they wanted. So they ended up having to come out of their savings, and that's not what they wanted to do. By waiting until maybe the schematic design phase was done or the first bidding was done to get that loan, they might have captured more of it under the home equity loan. So just something to think about there. Step 4 is, now that you know what you can afford, you're establishing your budget. You don't necessarily have to spend everything you can afford, but you want to have a budget that comes in under what you can afford, number one, and number two, that leaves some room for scope creep, which happens on every single project. The bells and whistles that you want to throw in, when I sit down initially, people go, oh, we want this amount of space, and it's okay if it's just stripped down and all that. When they start seeing the project built, it changes. They change and they go, oh, well, we're going to just go ahead and go with the upgraded sink, or go with the upgraded countertops, or go with the upgraded appliances. Happens almost every time. Having some room built into your budget so you can do that is a good idea. So the budget part of it, that's where you want to kind of talk to maybe friends and family who've done remodels in your area, and so that you know how much they spent, what they got for their money, and it'll better prepare you when you sit down with your architect. Step 5 is actually going out and finding the architect. Now, that is a whole nother video that I'll go through, and I'm gonna save that for another video, because there's a lot of elements to it. So I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I hope this was helpful. If it was, leave me a comment or send me a question if you have it. Love to hear from you. So until next time, thanks.